However, this is only event number 1. They're going to have 6 other tests of fitness that they've got to go through. So, hey, you don't have to win every single event to win the CrossFit Games.
You do not, and as the athletes start coming out, we have got, there's a guy on screen now, James Grundler, Bill's brother, who was just in the previous heat. We've got Shawn Ramirez, who took this event out last year, and also a guy who did very well in the Masters qualifier, Darren Ellis.
And this is Justin Judkins alongside Jeremy Austin as we get ready to start in on the 40 to 44-year-olds. And they're taking on event number 1. This is the triplet. Jeremy, they're faced with 3 completely different movements, and it's that bar muscle up that looks like to be the sticking point for a lot of these athletes.
It has been. So from the top, we've got our 40 GHD sit-ups. We move on to 10 bar muscle-ups on the Zeus rig. A 50-meter sandbag run at 100 pounds. The guys will then return 32 GHD sit-ups, 8 bar muscle-ups, and a 120-pound sandbag run. And then finally, 24 GHD sit-ups, the 6 bar muscle-ups, and finally, the very heavy 140-meter sandbag run.
Here are your lane assignments for the 40 to 44-year-olds. And Jeremy, there are some big names in this heat. Some athletes that have done well in the past, but we've also got some rookies. But you can't overlook the rookies. They might not have been 40-year-olds last year, so this could be the first opportunity that they have to compete. Some of those, Dusty Highland is one of those. Also, keep your eye on Jarrett Perlmutter. However, all eyes are going to be on Shawn Ramirez. He's returning as the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games champion from last year. Shawn the Ram Ramirez, and he's coming in with a vengeance. I know that he wants to repeat as a champion.
Also, keep your eye on Darren Ellis, who had a very, very good open for his rookie season in the 40 to 44 Masters, and also with the Masters qualifier. He's in the white shirt center rod screen from CrossFit New Zealand down there in Auckland. So Darren, a very, very good individual competitor, and he's been at the Pacific Regional for many, many years as an individual and a team member. So now it's up to him as a master to try and catch those top guys, including, as you mentioned, Shawn Ramirez.
Other athletes that have placed well and have experience here at the Games, keep an eye on. Christopher Bork, he took 12th last year. Chad Augustine placed 6th at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games. There's your defending champ. Shawn Ramirez wrestled in college and has experience in just being in that spot where it sucked and it hurt and you have to push through. The 40 to 44-year-olds are underway in event number 1 here at the soccer stadium of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games. They're starting in on those GHD sit-ups. They must complete 40 of those before they move on to 10 bar muscle-ups and a 50-meter sandbag run with 100 pounds in the sandbag on that first round. 10-minute time cap, and Jeremy, I really thought that a lot of the athletes in that last age division would finish really quick, but we saw some of them just pushing to get it under and completed under that time cap.
I think it's going to come down to those 32 GHD sit-ups. One, they've done a little bit of work. So once they, if they can get through those 32 GHD sit-ups fast enough, I think they'll do okay to hang on to that last set. But I think it's those 32, that middle section, that's really hurting some of these athletes. So great view right across the soccer stadium here at Carson, California.
Chad Augustine, who placed 6th at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Game. James Grundler, he's the brother of Bill Grundler. One of the first times that as Masters we've had brothers competing in the same year.
As you notice, he's just going a little bit slower on his GHD sit-ups as opposed to the other athletes we've seen in previous heats. So is that going to be a great strategy for him later on?
And there wasn't much turnaround time in between the two age divisions. I'm sure that James would have appreciated a little bit of advice from older brother Bill. Hey, Bill, what worked in that workout? What worked in that event? What didn't work in that event? Chad Augustine jumping out to a lead as he's chipping through those 10 bar muscle ups.
Or is Bill going to keep that info to himself to get the edge on his younger brother? So Robbie Davis on screen at the moment. He is our current leader. 2 minutes into our 10-minute time cap. He's now moving on to the sandbag. So we have got 100 pounds for that sandbag.
Robbie Davis, 2 minutes and 13 seconds into event number 1. And Davis and Augustine getting down the field. It's almost a dead tie, Jeremy, as they both place their sandbags on that white line. It looks like Chad Augustine will get there first. 2 minutes and 24 seconds is all it took him to complete round number 1 of this triplet.
So Travis Page as well, doing very well, staying with Chad Augustine and also Robbie Davis. So Chad on screen at the moment, coming through to get back onto the GHD for his second set.
Here's your defending champ, Shawn Ramirez, as he finishes that first round of this triplet. And it's called the triplet, Jeremy, because there are 3 different movements, not because there are 3 rounds, right?
Correct. So the GHD is the first time we've seen this for the Masters competition here, also with the bar muscle ups. That's the first time we've seen that for these competitors at the Reebok CrossFit Games. A lot of athletes now back onto the GHD, but our current leader is Robbie Davis. There he is. His pace on these is fairly fast at the moment, so hopefully he can maintain this pace, get back onto the pull-up rig and get those bar muscle ups completed before getting onto the sandbag carry at 120 pounds.
Chad Augustine, as he's chipping through that round of 32 GHD sit-ups. You said, Jeremy, this is going to be the toughest part of the workout, really this sticking point.
As you can see across the field, the sit-ups just starting to get a little bit slower. So Travis Page doesn't seem to have much trouble with it. We'll wait for the judges' hands to go up, but I think it is going to be Robbie Davis to get off first.
Just past the 4-minute mark, and Page down to his final 4 reps on the GHDs.
So Chad Augustine and Robbie Davis hitting the Zeus pull-up rig at exactly the same time.
It's going to be important to see how proficient they are with this last round of 6 bar muscle-ups. Down to the final 2 reps is Chad Augustine. He's not even coming off the bar, Jeremy. Last rep, Chad Augustine will get to that last sandbag, the second sandbag, and that is 120 pounds.
So it's all dependent on how fast these guys can shift this heavy sandbag up and down this field.
Robbie Davis gets a no rep on that chest, on that bar muscle up. Now Chad Augustine lumbering down the field with that 120 pounds over his shoulder.
So that's allowed Travis Page now to move into second position, just in the center of the screen there in your blue shirt. So Chad Augustine finishing off that second round. So just over 5 minutes. So we've got 5 minutes left of our time cap.
So Chad was the first one to complete the first round. He was also the first one to complete the second round. Jumped out to a quick lead and is maintaining that throughout the course of this event. Robbie Davis now shouldering 120 pounds on that sandbag, 50-meter sprint.
But he has got some work to do. There's a couple of guys ahead of him already. So it's going to get fairly congested now for this last round.
Travis Page in second place, now getting on to his last round of GHD sit-ups. So he only has 24 to get through, and then it's on to his last set of bar muscle-ups.
So Chad Augustine, left of screen in the white shirt, Travis Page in the blue shirt to the top of the screen, first and second place. Chad seems to be moving very, very efficiently. Just having a quick break, that's probably a good strategy. Not to be too tired getting to the bar muscle-ups. But I think you'll find that he will get off first. The judge's hand has gone up.
So important, he has not received any no reps on these GHDs. The last thing you want to do, Jeremy, is repeat one of these. So Page on the left in the blue shirt, Shawn Ramirez on the right with the white sunglasses. Page down to his final 4 reps. Now Chad Augustine moving on to his final bar muscle ups. He only has to complete 6 of those, and he'll move on to the last part of this event. the 50-meter sandbag run with 140 pounds.
As you noted in the last set, he didn't break them up, so I don't think he's going to have any trouble with these 6 at all. The sandbag isn't a problem for him either. Travis Page now moving to the rig. So this is a great start for Chad Augustine and Travis Page. But I don't think Chad's going to get troubled at all.
Nobody's even really close to him.
Just settling himself just a little bit before he picks up the 140-pound sandbag.
He's almost doing it like an Atlas stone.
Absolutely.
And has good technique there. You can tell he's practiced this a bit. And now it's just that 50-meter sprint with that 140 pounds slung over his shoulder. We're at 7 minutes and 30 seconds into event number 1 for the 40 to 44-year-olds of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games. Chad Augustine. He's the first one to complete the first round, first one to complete the second round, and the first one to complete the event. 7 minutes, 33 seconds for Chad Augustine. Travis Page in second place, right around the 7 minute and 50-second mark. In fact, it was 7 minutes and 47 seconds for Travis.
So Chad Augustine, yeah, big hugs, high fives. He's very happy to get those 100 points in this first event. Obviously, it's going to be a long 3 days for these gentlemen. One of the events we don't know, but there's going to be 7 great tests here for these guys over the next couple of days. But this is just the first one out of the way for Chad Augustine.
8 minutes and 20 seconds into event number 1, and Jeremy, some of these athletes might not finish this event under that time cap. However, they will get credit for every rep that they complete. Robbie Davis now shouldering his last bag, 140 pounds. We've got more and more athletes now completing this event. Dusty Highland in third place.
Yeah, Davis was doing very well early on, as we've seen right across every single division of the Masters. Some people have gone out too hard, too early, and it's come back to bite them later on in the event. So the guys who stayed steady have done very well.
54 seconds left until that time cap. Now Robbie Davis finishes up. And Davis coming in with a time of 9 minutes and 2 seconds. It looks like Shawn Ramirez, last year's champion, getting some no reps. He's down to his final 2 reps, but he's struggling on these bar muscle ups, and that could hurt him. However, we've got a long competition, long 3 days of competition. You don't have to win every single event to win the games.
He's a proven competitor, and he's found as of last year's event that he didn't have too many weaknesses, so have a look for him later on in the next couple of days. So we've only got 10 seconds. I don't think he's going to get under that time cap. Darren Ellis about to come over the line just under the time cap, but Shawn Ramirez and won't get that last bar muscle up completed.
There is your time cap for event number 1, and we see bar muscle ups giving Shawn Ramirez everything that he wants in event number 1, but it was all Chad Augustine here for the 40 to 44-year-olds.
So here he is, just going through his movements. He was very quick through his GHD sit-ups. His bar muscle-ups very efficient and very fast on that quick sandbag run.
Nick is standing by with Chad Augustine, event number 1 winner. Nick?
A very excited Chad Augustine. Congratulations on the event 1 victory. You've seen a lot of guys pace this event. There wasn't much pace to your style there. You kind of blazed through that. Was that learned from practice for you?
I actually didn't run through this workout at all. I just, I feel comfortable with GHD sit-ups and bar muscle-ups, and I just thought, well, we'll give the sandbags our best whirl and just grunt it out and just try and find a pace that I know I could maintain, and my goal was just to never slow down.
You're a previous Masters competitor. Moving to the track, to the soccer stadium, what's that experience like for you?
This is amazing. I just love coming out from underneath the tunnel, and there's people everywhere. This stadium is amazing, and it's just it's a privilege to be here.
Moving on to event 2, what's your thought on a heavy thruster?
So traditionally, moving a heavy barbell is not my strength, so I'm really trying my best to maximize and capitalize on the workouts that I would feel as my strength, so that I can, and then just go out there and do my best on the thruster.
Chad Augustine, you did great in event 1. Go rest up. We'll see you in event 2. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nick. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few moments to watch all of the athletes in the teenager division and the masters division take on those heavy thrusters. For Nick Zielinski and Jeremy Austin, I'm Justin Judkins. Thank you for watching our coverage of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games.